Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Lorraine 15550. It's a Tier 7 French SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Prokhorovka, and it's under the command of Randamach of DKSPT. And the only thing we can see about his equipment, he's got the modified equipment. That's all. Game on. 155mm howitzer. It's capable of doing 630 alpha, 40mm of pen, 7.6 meters on the burst radius, 11 to 22 seconds of stun. Now it does have a fairly fast reload, 28.57 by the book. He's got 25.33. Oh, now he knocked that tree down, and most Arty players on the enemy team, they saw that tree go down, would aim for the base of it, and that would hit him directly, but he seems to want to stay there. Try to avoid things like that because it's such an easy thing to spot, and then obviously if you do spot it, you think, yeah, I'm gonna hit that just to see. Okay, up on this hill, which is over on the other side of the map, we saw Barras for a brief moment. He fired his two 105mm rounds and he's pulled back. A T29 went up to the center line, rounds out. Went a bit long. I think that was right at the edge of the reticule at the time, which was fairly well developed. I would check the sniper position spot, which is obviously up in the corner in C1. Oh, look at this Lorraine 40 ton. He's been a bit brash. Yeah, it's a tier 9 game with tier 7 tanks, and well, that Lorraine just ruined it for his teammates. That was a good shot. 173 off the T29. We've just received notification from one of our teammates that they think something's in A2, an Arty. Usually as an Arty, players will say, that's where I was hit from. That's the direction of the shell. At the moment, Randamach is waiting for that T29 to appear again, but there's also an IS in there as well. In fact, it's an IS-32, so that's the double barrel version of the IS tank. There's more enemy tanks up on top of the hill. In fact, there's a bunch of our tanks that have gone up there as well, and the Arty are firing at them. There's the T29 suddenly appeared again. Not fully dialed in yet. Let's settle. That looks about right. He fires, and he gets a hit. 280 from that one. And he stunned him. In fact, it appeared he did get stun assist from one of the shots. I think that may have been the previous one. Randamach's in platoon with an M53, M55 in this game. So the other Arty on his team, who's not too far away from him as well, fired that bit snap and it went to the right. And a T32 that was previously up in the sniper's position has suddenly appeared in the tree line at D2. Okay. Normally when heavy tanks get to a position like that, they're going to push on the south. And we're going to dissuade them from doing that. Rounds out. Lands alongside him for 130. We're probably going to pick up some stun assist now off that T32 if our teammates get their act together and start shooting at him. We do have a T103, and surely he can actually hit that guy. Well, that's the M53 hitting him for 332, and we do have him. We don't have any stun assist off him though. That T29 keeps popping up. That was a direct hit. Nicely timed that one. And you can see where the T29 is going because he's knocking down fences as he moves across the center. There's that IS-32. Almost loaded. Rounds out. Direct hit on his engine deck as well. That one was a good shot. 311 hit points. The good thing about having an Arty that does reload so quickly, like the Lorraine 15550 and the 15551 for that matter, is that you can keep pumping those rounds out as fast as you can to make up or hit as many enemy tanks as possible to pick up a Confederate. Always worthwhile doing that. The more enemy tanks you hit, the more chance you've got of getting a medal. And that means that even if your team were to lose, you would still come ahead because, of course, you would actually benefit from getting a medal in a losing or drawn game. So it definitely makes a difference if you do keep firing and keep pumping rounds out at anyone on the enemy team and either just get a stun or even just a bit of damage. It all counts towards the Confederate. Of course, I like to try and hit them as hard as I can. Oh, T-54, and he's a one-shot. He's a splash kill, actually, for us. Line up ahead of his path. Fires it in, and... oh, direct hit, but it doesn't do enough damage to kill him. But it doesn't need to, because he does go down, and he's taken out by our Iron Arnie. So we not only got damage, we also got the benefit of the shell coming in and then our teammate taking him out afterwards, making it easier for them. Didn't get the stun assist on the T-54. Now, it appears the enemy is just not moving on the tree line on the west side of the map, which is odd, because normally, even if the T-32 is... he would have been moving if he had support. I think there are more enemy tanks on the west side, and we're not just seeing them at the moment because our teammates aren't close enough. That's another direct hit on the IS-32. He's had 2 so far. You can see the impact point for one of the shells actually landed on the upper plate on the front of the T-29. You can see a big yellow stain where the round went in. That might have been the blind shot. Rounds out. Another direct hit, and it made him a one-shot now for 204, and it means the M53, M55 picked up the stun assist off that shot because he got the shot in directly before ours. In fact, it's a pity that we didn't get the kill shot there. If we got 300 hit points, I think that guy would have been out the game. We're 2 down on the enemy at the moment. Oh, we just saw the tracer coming from the enemy Arty, but we're going back to look at the hill. Our Lorraine 40 tons decided to go up the dip past the lake. He's going to try and creep up on the enemy, get some spots on them. And there's the first of the enemy tanks on the west side that has suddenly appeared. Oh, and that was a direct hit from the M53, M55, and it didn't kill him, but it did do a lot of damage, and he has died this time. So the first shot probably crippled him for the M53, M55, and our shot went in and finished him off. And either of those shots were probably penetrating rounds. Randamach's working as hard as he can. He fires ahead of the T-122 and he stops him, tracks him for 281, and he got damage assist off the tracks as well. Unfortunately, our guys are now retreating down the back of the hill because, of course, they are outnumbered, overwhelmed. There's still 3 up on us. But it does look like we picked the right direction to go and shoot from. The IS-32 is, well, he's just recovered from a fire, as you can see. Rounds out. Direct hit. We're getting the request for fire from the Prototypo 6. He wants us to hit the T-25AT, who's been spotted on the east side of the map. And in fact, he is receiving fire at this moment. In fact, he's badly damaged now, that T25AT. I think a splash kill could probably take him out. Well, unfortunately, we just lost our M53, M55 platoon mate. It was taken out by the enemy Barask, which kind of indicates the Barask is on this side of the battlefield. And in fact, he is shooting at some of our other teammates as well as the Arty. Because the Arty just went after our T103. So we are in danger at this moment. Say there is an enemy tank that we could take out over on the other side. In fact, he's just been killed by our G2 SP. That was the T25AT. He's gone. So it's only a 2 difference now. I just heard a fence post being knocked over, so somebody is moving. And it is the IS-3-2 that was up there. And you can see one of our impacts, the last blind shot we fired, actually hit the top of the turret. And I just heard the rumble of an enemy RT firing in our direction. He hit the T103, but the IS-3-2 has just died. So a direct hit, a blind hit at that, and he's out the game. But it looks like the enemy RT knows where our T103 is because he's fired at that guy twice. And in fact, there's the Barask. He is up in the sniper position. And he just killed our T103 and he's coming this direction. There's the ELC M90. And unfortunately, that shot missed. The ELC's trying to escape. The Super Hellcat's giving him a bit of a trouble. He's in reload. That's why he's trying to run away. Meanwhile, the Barask is moving in. It looked like they're going to go together. And now the Arty's coming after us now, let alone the Barask and the ELC. And in fact, I'd say now there's a good chance that we're going to be on the receiving end very shortly from both of those tanks. In fact, he has been spotted, so he needs to move. And too late, the ELC gets him. Yeah, he was on for a Stark's medal at one point, but yep, sorry, it didn't work. The Barask got the kill shot. So we're down by 4 now, and it's looking worse. Yes, the Lorraine 40-ton and the Prototypo 6 are the only 2 left alive now because we just lost the Cheeto SP up on the hill. And despite the fact that the Prototypo 6 has just killed an enemy chopper, our Lorraine 40-ton is now being targeted by the enemy Arty, and yeah, things are starting to look pretty bad. You can see the 40 tons over there. The Barask and the ELC are going to have to cross the battlefield if we want to get at him, but yeah, the Barask got him. Now it's just the Prototypo 6 left, and well, he's out the game now, and that's the end. Here's the end of battle stats, and despite that being a defeat, Randamach managed to get a first-class tanker out of that game, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he managed to get 9, and he got a Gauss medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle. His win rate was 4,523, which is Super Unicum standard, so yes, pumping out those shells as fast as he could actually did have a significant effect upon the enemy team. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, he actually got the highest damage on our team, but the highest damage in the game turned out to be that Barask, who got 4 medals. He got a Pascucci's medal, a high caliber, a top gun, and a tank sniper for 4,607 hit points of damage. The enemy GW Tiger picked up a Confederate, and he got 3,035 hit points of damage. And the third highest, well, that turned out to be Randamach, who got 2,833. When it came to kills, we can see top scorer was the Barask. He missed out on getting a Radley Waters by 1 tank, and 2 kills went to Randamach, to the G2 SP on our team, the 122 TM, and the GW Panther on the enemy team. And that guy got a Confederate as well. And when it came to base XP, we can see the top scorer was the ELC 790. He must have been doing all the spotting that was allowing our guys to get hit when, of course, they couldn't see any enemy tanks on the west side of the map. He got 1,490 base experience points, followed by the Brass getting 1,318. And the third highest, well, that turned out to be their GW Tiger with 842. Randamach fired 17 rounds of the game, got 10 direct hits, 1 penetration, and 14 splash. Now, I suspect the penetration was, in fact, the SU-130PM. It was, yes, in fact, he got 607 hit points of damage from that one shot alone. He also got 14 splashes, 2,833 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. But he received 2 hits, and both were penetrations, and the last one, the Barask, finished him off. 6 enemy vehicles were damaged, 2 were killed, and he got 527 hit points of damage assist and 557 of stun assist of 13 stuns. On a free-to-play account, he actually made a profit of 59,711 credits, including 30,000 for completing a mission, and he also picked up 1,533 experience points out of that game as well. So even though he was on the losing team, he still put up quite a performance to get a first-class tanker. And had he been on the winning team, I think actually it would have been even better still. He might have even got an ace tanker or got close to it at least. So, sad defeat, but a creditable game nonetheless. Hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.